we're going to switch a little bit. One of our main guys here on the show is Canadian professional boxer, Custio Clayton.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure
Okay.
you're familiar with
Yeah.
Custio Clayton,
Yep.
Dartmouth, Nova Scotia,
Yeah.
big welterweight. So we're big time on him. How do you feel about his career? How it's been going? I mean, he currently stands at 18 wins, no losses, 12 wins by way of knockout, one draw. His last fight, Sergey Lipinets, who I feel and most people believe that he won, but boxing is a business, so I guess it is what it is. But he's definitely a promising prospect. He has all kinds of potential. He seems like the type of fighter that none of the top guys really want to bump into.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? What do you think he needs to do to really get himself into the conversation?
I think and what he's doing is he's doing all the right things right now. You know what I mean? Like winning's the main thing. He's winning. He had a draw his last fight, like you said. But man, I think he just got to just keep doing what he does and just keep winning. And I don't know, be honest, like if you look at I don't know, you can't compare of course, him like let's say Mayweather or someone else, but those guys they're brought along. You know what I mean? Like groomed. You know what I mean? That's okay. Well, you don't really want to throw them in to fight someone super crazy right off the gate. You kind of want to build them up, and then once you get to a certain point, then you can start getting some championships and making some money, right? So, because that's the thing with boxing or any one of these sports, it all it takes is a couple of losses, and then you're done. You know what I mean? And even though you want to fight some of these big guys, you know what I mean? Okay, whatever. If you're not going to get paid to do it, then you're kind of so you got to kind of come along slowly. Look, like I said. He looks good, you know what I mean? He looks like he's winning many of his fights, other than that draw, like we said that was he probably should have won, like you said. But just keep doing what he does, man. He'll get his shot because you can't dodge him for long, right? Someone's gonna want him or to fight him. You just keep doing what he's doing, he'll be fine, man. He'll be fine. I gotta watch more of his stuff too.
He keeps winning. He got to keep winning. Like you said, that's the most important thing. Keep winning. That was his first fight down in the States. So you know how the judges are down there when you get down there. They're never going to be in your favor. He came into the fight with only 2 weeks' notice, and I mean, in my opinion, he won the fight. But just a draw is the best they could have gave him. But it's been almost a year now since he's been in the ring. As a matter of fact, we're coming up on the year mark just here this week. So I do feel like his inactivity, man, is, I mean, I don't know what's going on with the management team or whatever, but I don't know if he's just having a hard time getting fights or is it hard for him with the COVID restrictions, traveling?
That could be it too, right? Who knows?
Definitely being in Canada.
But he needs to be fighting though. He needs to fight.
Definitely, especially.
I think keep his name out there, right?
I think for the reason what you guys are all talking about right now is why he's not getting fights. I don't think it has anything to do with any COVIDs or, him being Canadian or, anything like that. I think it's got to do with the fact of who he's fought and what he was able to do with such amount of time or with the experienced fighters that they put him in with. Not to mention that the guy has a pretty good amateur background. He's an Olympian. Yeah. Ace mentioned he's a pretty big, strong, solid welterweight that's been durable. He hasn't taken much punishment. He's shown that he can box. He can sit in the pocket. He can move backwards. I mean, he's not the greatest backwards. I'm not gonna lie for him, but I think he's pretty good backwards. And if he has to plan for it or train for it, I think he could show a lot of difference inside of a ring. I mean, I may be a little bit biased because he's a Nova Scotian native, and by the show, I always rap with my Scotians. But just looking at him as a boxer, there's not really much you can bring to the table that I feel like he's not going to be prepared for, especially when you put him in a ring with a guy like Lipinets. He ended, but who was it? Lamont Peterson's career. They said he retired him, and. He gets into it was Lamont Peterson, and he gets into a ring with a guy like Custio who only gets 2 to 3 weeks to train, and he actually did beat him. Like in reality, if we're going off points in rounds 1, Custio beat him. He beat him very clean. He beat him very fair. Anybody watching would say he beat him.
Yeah, for sure, I won that fight. I mean, I ain't even gonna say I thought. I know for a fact I won that fight. But I mean, like I said, the judges made a decision, and there's nothing I can do about it. But I mean, I know I won that fight. I mean, for sure.
It's controversy in politics why they gave him the draw, and we kind of can tell like why the draw was given. They didn't want to put a loss on either man's record where it should be, but either way, I think most people know that he's too high risk, low reward to want to fight. Too high risk. I'm really, in my own opinion, I was wrong about the Wilder fight, but hey, but I can almost tell you, other than a healthy Spence, maybe a healthy Bud. I don't know if anybody else in the welterweight division at this moment beats him. And I'm not gonna sleep on Boots. Boots, you just gotta accept the fight. I mean, I guess he asked Boots to fight. Boots said no, or Boots didn't look at the contract. He had other people that were turning him down. So I don't.
Dennis is facing Lipinets now, not the person that the people felt won the fight. Do you believe you won that fight, or do you think the draw was a fair decision? And did you get a call or an offer to fight a Jaron Ennis versus him facing a Lipinets?
I did get an offer to fight Jerome, and I did say yes.
Okay.
As to did Jerome people send it, I don't know who sent it. I did, like, I got the offer in January as well, and I did say yes to the offer, but like I said, I mean, they decided to go with Lipinets. I don't know if they actually, if I was actually offered to him, I don't know. But I mean, like I said, it didn't go that way.
But that's my take on why they won't fight him. He's too big. He's too strong. He's very talented. He's tactical. He's an Olympian.
Killer boy.
Yeah, he's an Olympian. He's an accomplished amateur. You know, he's been in the ring with guys like Earl Spence and the amateurs. I mean, what more, do you need to say? Like, he knocked out DeMarcus Corley.
Dangerous. You said it best yourself right there. High risk, little reward. That's the way these guys see it. Mm-hmm. It's like, why would I want to fight somebody like him? He has the experience, like you said, his amateur background is immaculate. He's fought in the Olympics. He's fought in the Pan Am Games. He's been all over the world. So I'm trying to find his actual amateur record, but I can't find it. But it was definitely a winning one. And he's 34 years old. So I mean, at that age, you're really in your peak physical condition as a man.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
with the he hasn't been in a lot of wars. He hasn't taken a great beating. So I mean, he's a good 34. So for a young guy like Boots Ennis to think about getting in the ring with him, I mean, I may be reaching a little bit, but I think that Custio probably surprises Boots Ennis and beats him. And that's the last thing that somebody like Boots wants right now when he's trying to, follow the same blueprint as everyone else, stay undefeated, even if it means not fighting anybody. And like all these guys are retiring with no money because they're waiting. They want to hold on to that till they can get the big fight. But, the big fight's not going to come because you guys aren't putting yourself out there. It's kind of it's a vicious cycle that these boxers are in now with this undefeated stuff, because they just want to be undefeated because they want to be able to get maximum value from themselves. But you're not really getting maximum value out of yourself if you're not putting yourself out there to fight. You got to take risks. And I see these guys, they want to hold on to that but they don't want to take any risks at the same time. The O's only really counts if you're taking risks. If you're not fighting anybody, then we don't expect you to lose.
That's true though, but the thing about that though too, at the same time though, is there's some people that will go fight. Like look at Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez. They're both, they both had undefeated records. They fought against each other, right? So the money has to kind of be there too, right? At the same time, and then the promotion has to be there at the same time.
Can I say something?
I know a lot of us.
No, sorry.
Go ahead.
No. Finish your sentence. My bad. I thought you were.
Well, what I'm saying is like the promotion has to kind of be there too. So like, I don't know who's promoting Custio's camp, right? I don't really know that much about his camp, but to promote, he needs to figure out a way, kind of get out there so people want to see that fight. Once people want to see that fight, if he puts his out there, go from like where what Pretty Boy Floyd, and he was all nice and happy and blah blah blah, and then went to Money Mayweather, and everyone wants to fight him. Like something has to happen where people got to be like, okay, I want to see this guy fight. I want to see this guy fight. I want to see him fight this dude, right? So that's how those fights happen. So I'm not saying what's going on with his camp, but something has to happen, or someone has to call him out that wants to fight him. But like you said, if people are scared to fight him, don't want to take take a loss, then anyone want to fight him. But people got to be like, the people have to say, okay, this fight has to happen. You know what I mean? Like, that's how
But
I feel. That's my opinion. You know what I mean?
But that's exactly what I would have said to that. Is that like I feel like it's more of a fans thing, and where he has a whole province, he's a top in the country. He should have a whole country behind him. If we're behind him that much, and we're cheering and we're looking, then yeah, he'll probably get the fights. That's the other way, and that's why I encourage people to get behind your local athletes that are out there doing it, because you never know, they can bring that here, which opens up businesses, which opens up jobs. It opens up a lot for the city, for the province when we start, really putting our interest into these athletes who are representing for our province. But what I will say is the whole thing with Tefio Lopez and Lomachenko was Bob Arum. Bob Arum was able to force that fight to happen. Bob Arum was going to make that fight happen. They're both promoted by him, so there was no choice. They're both a bit too busy ducking Devin Haney for me to even consider, Lomachenko and Tefio Lopez. No disrespect to what you were saying, but for me to consider those guys type of guys that are willing to fight the best and want to fight the best, I mean, I think Lomachenko, yeah, he did beat Gary Russell, but to me there was a little bit of funniness behind that win, and he wouldn't give him a rematch. I'm pretty sure there was a
Yeah.
dehydration clause, and he wouldn't give him a rematch, but he's on the other end crying for a rematch. Nah, man, it doesn't work that way, that this guy
Yeah.
has to give you a rematch, because you never give nobody a rematch. So why aren't those things happening? I think the things that in boxing, where we look at people not fighting people or people not going at it, I don't think it's so much the whole like people trying to keep their it looks like it. If you ask me, I really will say it looks like it, but I think it's more like this person should have his when he's at like 23, 24 wins with so many knockouts, and I have mine with 23, 24 wins with so many knockouts, and then it's a huge fight and the fight gets even bigger, because it's still a business, and they still got to look at it
Yes.
from a promotional point perspective, right? If we're going to pay these fighters this amount of money to fight the fight, how do we make our money back? Free TV doesn't always make it. If it's a good fight, you might get some advertising money, but you want to go that pay per view, and you want to be able to charge people decent money, they're going to pay that pay per view. And sometimes certain stars or certain boxers just don't have the backing or the pay per view numbers or even the followers behind them for a promoter to want to spend the money to make the fight, hoping to get the money back. That would be
Yeah.
my take on why a lot of these fights aren't happening. And I don't think it's so much not the like sorry to keep rambling on here, but the fight coming up with Porter and Crawford. I mean, come on, that's a pay per view, but like, really, is it really a pay per view, or is it a really good promotional fight on a local network for free that you can throw a lot of advertisement in, because a lot of people are going to watch it? Especially if
Yeah.
you're talking MMA. There's a lot of advertising for MMA on boxing, So I would I would honestly say, like, that fight alone, you're now paying a matter of $10 million to get that fight to happen. And how are you going to make $10 million back? Do they really have that much do that many people know Terrence Crawford, and do that many people know Sean Porter? Like,
Well, Terrence Crawford's well known. Now Porter, who
is he?
knows, right? Who knows, right? Yeah, Terrence Crawford, he's been around for a minute.
What's
But
his best pay per view buys though? Do people really pay for his pay per views? Because the last two he had, the only two he had flopped.
who was his last two fights that he fought against? You mind me asking?
Cal Brooks was one of them, but I don't even think that was on pay per view. To
Yeah.
be honest, I don't think that was on pay per view. I want
A
to
Cal
lot
was
of
it
Brooks and
Monster
York
Inoue?
Yo Scambo.
York, yeah, Yorkis Gambo, and I think Monster Inoue.
Gamboa, okay, Gamboa. But like, here's the thing though. But a lot of guys are doing this now too. So like, I guess, well, the zone, right? So
Hmm.
a lot of people are fighting on the zone now, right? You know
Hmm.
what I mean? So like, they're probably getting paid. The zone's probably giving them. I don't know what they're giving them, but they're probably giving them a chunk of money. We'll do the fight, everything else. You know what I mean? So a lot of they're making money like that too, other than like maybe their pay per views, because now you got the zone. The
Hmm.
zone is you got to
Pay
pay
for
for
the
that, but
app.
then there's also your pay-per-views too, right? Because they
Hmm.
probably have a pay-per-view contract, whatever, right? And then whatever they get at the gate, whatever they sell, you know what I mean, at the arena, right? They might get a percentage of that, right? So who knows kind of how it works, but there's some good fights that are coming up too, like, you know what I mean? Like, I know Teofimo's supposed to be fighting. I forget the guy he's fighting, but
Jojo
that's on the
Diaz.
zone. That's free.
Jojo Diaz.
Was it?
But it
Yeah.
was
You
Jojo
mean?
Diaz.
Yeah, it was, but we don't know what's. No, they got a date for that fight now.
No, because
Um,
Okay.
Triller let it go and the zone took it over. But let's be honest here. Like, I like what you're saying there, Joey, because you made a lot of sense there, and I like that with the apps and like people being able to move around. But even the zone pulled out of America. They're not doing any more fights in America. They're not making any money. So it just goes to show you that Bob and Al had that game sold when, you know, DAZN came in with all this money to put on all these fights, and then they just back right back out because it's not as profitable. I mean, look, if you look at
So
DAZN's, my bad, but if you look at DAZN's
T
fight
sorry.
cards, they're not that great. My bad. Go ahead, Ace.
Oh, oh,
No,
the
I was gonna
last
They're
fight
say
good.
they had, the Lomachenko fight there was on there. Lomachenko in the in what's his name? The one that just Teofimo.
Okay, yeah,
I
yeah,
watched
yeah.
it the other day,
Yeah,
and that
nice.
was on the zone whatever. But like I said, there was hardly no one in the stands. It was like I mean, it wasn't like they were getting like a card. There was
it
a lot
was
of people in there.
COVID.
I mean, and then maybe like, but yeah, it was COVID, right? Yeah, exactly. But for them to put that on, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? That's crazy. Like those are two top fighters in the world, man.
Yep.
For them to
And
come together and let it happen without even,
ju-
you know,
just to correct
private.
ourselves, Tiafimo's gearing up to fight George Gambosis,
Yeah, that's who it
and
is. He changed it from what you
they
call
still don't
Georgia.
have a. I thought they, I thought they had a date, but they still don't have a date for the fight.
DAZN's working
So
one out.
yeah,
So,
I thought I seen today that
yeah.
they had a date, but
So since you got the DAZN package, I do got to steer the question in this direction. I know we almost all over the place with boxing. Castillo, much love to you. We rooting for you. This is your home. This is your channel. Come on, talk that, or
Yeah.
we'll talk it for you. Let us know. We'll call out any boxer you need to call out that you need to get in the ring with. We'll let them know how much people you got behind you. But I got to
no
steer
doubt.
it. Yeah, my bad. But I got to steer in this direction. Ray, I'll let you get on and say something, man, because you've been muted for a minute. But how do you feel about Mikey losing to a school teacher? You got the DAZN app. You must have watched that fight where Mikey just lost to that school teacher, Mikey Garcia,
School bus driver.
school
School bus
teacher,
driver.
bus driver. Like, I don't mean to disrespect any fighter. You get in the ring, you deserve
I feel
respect.
like I
But
didn't feel too good about it going in.
No, but I get it though. Yeah. Go ahead. All right.
I feel
that's
like I didn't like it that much going in.
but the fight.
I already told you, Marquis, that I didn't like it for Mikey Garcia. Yeah, and I didn't. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I knew the most about his opponent because I didn't. I just didn't feel like Mikey Garcia was really fit to make any noise. I feel like he was 1 foot out the door. And whenever you got 1 foot out the door and you're fighting a young guy that's hungry, you're probably fitting to get that ass beat. I don't care who you are. I've seen it happen over and over and over again.
But how could we say Mikey was really out the door? He lost to Earl Spence, which is it's a good loss, and he looked okay in his last fight. Can't remember who his last fight was before that, but he did
He
have
looked.
a
He got a unanimous over Vargas. He did look pretty good.
was it Jesse Vargas, right?
Well, yeah, but once I hear somebody say out of their mouth that they're going to retire, I know that your foot is out the door already.
Maybe,
You
yeah,
know, so
yeah.
I didn't have a lot of faith in him going into the fight, even though I didn't know much about his opponent, Martin. I didn't have a lot of faith that he was going to be able to. Sometimes you just feel it. You don't know. You need to know. You don't need to know his opponent. You just know the fighter. You understand?
Oh yeah.
And
What do you think? My bad. Go ahead. I know you.
no, I was just saying. Sometimes it's just you just know the fighter. You know that he's not really ready to win. He's not ready. He wasn't ready, and I knew
No.
that he wasn't going to be ready. And
Kevin
No.
Hart me.
you know,
She wasn't
and shout out to
ready.
Sandor Martin.
She
He
wasn't
fought a hell of a fight.
ready.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
he did. He did.
Did you
He
watch
fought a
that
good fight.
fight?
I watched the fight too. I did. I did watch the fight because when you guys told me, I went to kind of watch it, whatever.
Hmm.
Garcia didn't really look that good, man. You know what I mean? He didn't.
Exactly.
Um, he did. Like I mean, for him to get into the ring with a guy that, like I said, he did respect to the fighter, he did respect to Sandor, he did what he had to do, and you know he won the fight, but he just didn't look good, man. You know, he didn't look. This was like he looked like a regular fighter, to be honest. This was just some little
Looked like
jab
he
here
had
and there. Go ahead.
So he looked like he had 1 foot out the ring already.
Yeah, like he didn't look like he really wanted it. Like he was kind of like you give him a little bit and then he kind of stepped back, right? It was never like a sense of urgency, like I want to get this guy, right? Yeah, and what happens is when you start giving another fighter confidence, I mean, he
Yep.
starts getting pumped up and okay, I think I can beat this guy. And then all of a sudden, that's what happened, right? And he just
And
kind of kept rolling. So
Sandor was no. This was no young Shakur Stevenson coming up. This guy is. He has a pretty decent record with 41 wins. 41 fights, 39 wins, 2 losses, and 13 big wins coming by way of knockout. He had a pretty decent record, but this was the first time he actually fought outside of. It's the first time he had ever fought in the States, and only the only the third time that he ever fought outside of Spain. Period. So it's not
Okay.
like this guy's some sort of trailblazer or anything like that. He's fairly unknown. So
No, definitely.
shout out to him.
Yeah, no, big shout out to him. To be honest, I think and maybe once again I'm being biased. Every chance I get to, I'm gonna let it be known. But I think really, Mikey, if you really are serious and you want to come back fight and you want to see if you belong in the welterweight division, Castillo's free. You can't get a fight. I follow his Instagram.
Dude,
He
it
knows
is.
he can't get a fight.
This is the last person Mikey Garcia. Let's start talking real here. Castillo's more welterweight on the Castillo fights more of a middleweight. Like he has fought at middleweight before Castillo, so he definitely Mikey Garcia is a small guy. He's lucky to even get to
He
welterweight.
fought Earl
I think
Spence. I
Castillo
don't
would
see
probably
why he can't get in the ring with Castillo and let people know that this guy has arrived. I'm wrong. I'm not. I
he get
don't
him
think
up
I'm
out
wrong
of
for
there.
that. Oh, Castillo
Castillo
definitely
gonna
gets
get
in
him
the
up
ring.
No,
out of there.
no, that's a good call though. I mean, but at the same time, is what he did his last fight, man. If he goes in there against Custio like that, like
Castillo
so,
gonna get him up out of there.
Yeah,
like so, cuz.
but I
He's
mean,
gonna get him up out
hey,
of there.
I think it's a good fight to get Castillo's name out there to let them know like he is number 7, number 5 in the rankings for Terrence Crawford's belt right behind Boots. Boots can't get an opponent. Garcia, I mean, I don't think no one's gonna want to fight you now, Garcia. I won't lie. After you took that L, nobody's gonna want
And
to
let's
fight
not
you.
remember, let's not
Yeah.
forget when he fought Errol Spence, that was the biggest he ever fought. That he fought at welterweight. That was the biggest Vargas ever came into the ring, and they already knew that
Garcia,
Errol Spence was gonna bully him. Yeah,
hey man, that may have been the biggest he fought, but that was his choice. He chose. His father's the elite trainer. I mean, I don't have nothing bad to say about him. I think under 147, anything under 147, he's a great fighter. Just when he goes to
yeah,
147 and
I
above, he
agree.
should stay. Even at catchweight. No, man, stay at 140. You know?
I agree. But he's lucky Errol Spence didn't get him up out of there.
Now, I want to switch gears. I know it might be getting a little late for Joey. I know you got a family and all. Just want to switch gears and make sure I ask him about the upcoming fight with Crawford and Porter, if he's following that any or if he's got to see any of that.
I haven't really been following it there. I know a little bit about Terrence Crawford and what he can do, whatever, and I'll probably check a bit more on it. But well, excited to watch the fight. I'll definitely probably watch it. But
Hmm.
no, I don't really know that much really about. I know about Terrence Crawford. I know what he can do. But who's the other guy's name again? Sorry,
Sean Porter.
Porter.
Sean Porter,
What's his first name?
Sean Porter.
Sean.
Oh, Sean Porter.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't know that much about him. No, I couldn't
Uh,
even speak on it. But well,
well,
What do
he's.
you think? Think Crawford's gonna take that one?
I don't know. It's the
Well,
first time Bud's been in the ring with a true welterweight, so I can't say he's gonna take anything. I just hope he's actually able to stay in the ring with a true welterweight. It's been since his first fight with Jeff Horn at welterweight that he's actually fighting a true welterweight that's active and either not past their prime or not been already knocked out or not known to have a suspect chin or not to have their eye broke. So, and I'm not trying to
Yeah,
poo-poo on Porter at all. I mean on Bud at all. It's
yeah.
just at the 147 division, I haven't seen him fight anybody that tells me what he is capable of and what he's not. So this is a big fight for me to see him. I'm a big Earl Spence fan. I like what Bud's capable of doing. I like a lot of welterweights. I think welterweights are fun to watch. So. But one guy I've been always interested to see is Terrence Crawford. Like I've always heard all this hype about him and what he's been able to do at 140. When I'm pretty sure Gambosa, buzzed him. He's Monster Anyway. I'm pretty sure buzzed him. He's been buzzed a few times. You know what I mean? He's definitely been buzzed a few
Mm,
times by guys lower than the by guys at a lower weight than 170, than 147. So I like to see if he takes a real hit from a true welterweight, knowing that Sean Porter don't have the hardest hit either. But I just like to see if he
okay.
actually gets in there if he gets in there with a true welterweight that can work him, overwhelm him, and keep him busy, what he can do and how those skills can work. I'd like to see how he's going to switch back and forth like he's known for doing, and see how this fight goes. That's pretty much what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
mhm.
I have a question for you guys.
All right.
What do you think about the Canelo Plant fight?
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
payday.
Payday,
You want
payday,
to
Payday.
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 I know
I
I
that.
know
know
that.
that. I know that.
And
I
and
know that.
Speak on that one.
okay. You want to go first,
I
Ace, or
won't lie
you
to
want
you. I'm
you want to
spoiled,
go? You
Mark.
go.
Yes, I do. I don't have that much as of right now. I don't really have that much to say on this fight. One thing I will say, I believe all the stuff that they say about Canelo. He's a real prick. I think that his day is coming. I think that Caleb Plant's an excellent fighter. I think
Yeah.
that, but ultimately, I think that he got himself in a bad way. And it kind of makes me weird. Like a few weeks ago, this was all you heard about. And I mean, maybe because of the Wilder fight and everything else, it kind
Yeah.
of died down. But I think that Caleb Plant kind of found himself in a bad way. And I think if there's ever a fight that Canelo's coming out to be ready for, it's going to be this one. And I think it could get ugly for Caleb. I'm going with Alvarez to get him up out of there. Even though, like, I would probably, like, naturally be cheering for Caleb Plant to win, but I don't know. I think there's too much riding on Canelo's legacy to lose this one. I think that Caleb is in a bad way, and he better come for a serious, serious war. Because it's
Yeah.
going to be a bad one.
It's
I'm
gonna
not
be a
going to
war,
lie.
right? It's gonna be a war, right? For
Yeah.
real. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Canelo, I won't lie to you. As much as I'm not the hugest of Canelo fans, but I gotta respect what he does. And like I think you're gonna probably see the most serious version of him this fight. So that's my take on that. I'm picking Canelo to get him up out of there.
You want
Probably
my
around the
you want my take,
probably
Joey?
7 or 8.
Yeah.
You
What's
sure?
your take on it? Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I think Caleb Plant is always underestimated, very very underestimated. They didn't they were marketing Zetaguchi just as hard to beat Caleb Plant, and nobody gave Caleb Plant a chance, but he put Zetaguchi on his bum twice and walked out of there champion. Now, what I did see in that same fight at the same time was a Caleb Plant that looked like he was running out of gas come the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th round, which is what you're not going to want to do
Right.
against Canelo. You're not going to want to. Um,
No,
No.
no.
but what
No.
I would
That's how you get killed.
but what I would be interested to see is if Caleb Plant does come cardio ready, does come trained ready, and goes in there to take care of business like he always does. I would be very, very interested to see if Canelo learned to cut the ring off any better than what he did when he was in the ring with Floyd. Because yes, he's a good boxer, but did he improve? Did he get any better? Because if he didn't get any
Yeah.
better, and he goes in there with a slick moving, sweet hands, Caleb Plant, it
Mm-hmm.
might be that day where people realize that boxing is not always about the knockout. It's about hitting and not
Yeah.
getting hit. And I feel like Caleb Plant has the hands, has the moves, slick. He's probably the only person that that Canelo has fought in that's anywhere even near close to what Floyd Mayweather was.
Yeah.
And that's sad
Mhm.
because Caleb
Yeah.
Plant isn't no Floyd Mayweather. So I'm looking at it and I'm saying to
Yeah,
myself, well, if this guy's in there training and he's really actually focused on the fight, knows what he got to come do, knows that it's business. It's all business. He wins this, he's unified. He wins this. Not only has he been upsetting people his whole life when he was a freaking standby for the Olympics, he was a standby, end up getting in and winning. Come on, man! Like the guy is always counted out
Yeah.
because he's quiet, because he's small, because you just don't think so. But the guy is a winner. He has proven to be a winner. So when you look at even when I look at Canelo's resume going back maybe what 6 fights, who would you even
Yeah.
say was on the level? Who would you say was on the level of Caleb Plant? I know Ace thought Billy Joe Saunders, but I had to tell him go check Billy Joe Saunders. He is nothing like a Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant is way different. He's way better mentality and just boxing
yeah.
skills.
Well, the talk was the same. Let's not act like it wasn't.
What do you mean?
But his last 6 fights. I mean, he fought Danny Jacobs.
Yeah,
We all know how that fight went.
with
Yeah.
with a redehydration clause, which is dirty because he doesn't need one. Come on, man. Like let's not act like these guys
Yeah,
have put
yeah,
little
we
dirty
all remember
clauses in
this.
there.
But what I will say about what you said though, because remember, I'm not the biggest Canelo fan going, but I do feel like he did improve on some of them things since the Floyd Mayweather fight. I
When
think
have
he
you
was a
seen it?
different fighter after
When have you
the
seen it?
fight, but he still has the same. He still has the same Achilles heel. But I think essentially what you said is right. Cutting off the ring could be a problem for him, but I think that he's going into the fight ready to take some heat. This is what I mean. I think he's coming for real war. CaneloVs.Plant, I think, is going to have I think CaneloVs.Plant is going to come in the best version of himself. So I am really looking forward to seeing what he's going to do, because I have a feeling that Canelo's going to come in and fight the fight. He's going to be, willing to take some of that heat early on, and he's going to hope to wear him down and get him up out of there in the later rounds. And it's going to be very interesting to see. So Caleb got to come ready to fight. If he comes ready to fight and he's the best version of himself, he may be in Canelo's head a little bit. He may, even though Canelo did hit him with a 3-piece no biscuits, so maybe Canelo's in his head a little bit. I don't know. But I think, if Caleb comes as the best version of himself, ready to fight 12 rounds, and he can avoid getting hit with them big body shots, because Canelo's coming out there to work that body, then, he could give himself a chance to win. But things aren't going to be playing in his favor. I feel like it's going to be hard for him to win a close decision against Canelo, especially in Las Vegas, which is pretty much like Canelo's town right now. So it's going to, I also think it'd be hard for him to really inflict like serious damage on Canelo either.
Why?
I think the best chance he has to win is by points, and he's going to have to win by a lot of points. Because in a close
He's a
decision,
boxer that wins by points. He's a boxer that wins by points. He's a boxer's boxer. Go ahead.
I just said that.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that I feel like in a close decision, it will be easy for him to get robbed in a place like Las Vegas, fighting a fighter like Canelo Alvarez.
That's true.
That's what I'm saying.
That's true.
And I just feel like
you're absolutely right.
But if it's a good fight, I can see them making it a tie or making sure that there's a rematch and actually giving it up. So there's a lot of ways that can go. Business is business.
Yeah. It's true, and Canelo, man, like he's very good. Like he's a points guy. You know what I mean? Points is throwing the jab out there, moves his head really quick, whatever. But like when you get into a war with someone like Plant and they're like battling each other, I want to see this fight. Actually, after this fight happens, we got to get back on and we'll talk about it. But
Canelo's hard to hurt. That's the thing about Canelo.
He's like Mayweather, bro. That's why we talked about like Mayweather.
He can take shots. He can take real shots.
You gotta let him get his words in, bro.
No. It's all good. It's all good. But like what I'm saying is like Canelo and Mayweather are almost the same. They move really. They move well. Their jab, their counter jab is crazy. Like, you know what I mean? As soon as you go to throw a punch, he just leads back, bang. You know what I mean? Snap, right? Snap your neck back. So they both fight the same. And then when you go to the cards, like when he fought Triple G those 3 times, man, like, I mean, I thought, we could have got a couple of them there. Like, they could have went either way, right? But like I said, Canelo he's big in Mexico, right? You know what I mean? He has a lot of following. You know what I mean? Just like a lot of these guys. So like that kind of sways the cards. And sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. So just hopefully, if it's a war, and then we'll see kind of what happens. But after this fight, I'll definitely jump back on. But boys, I gotta run. Thank you for the opportunity to come on. You know what I mean? Have a conversation with you guys. It's always love. You know what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, we would love having you on the show, man. You're great. We want to get you back on here. That's for sure.
Definitely.
Like I said, right after the Canelo fight, man. I think the Canelo fight's like November 6th or something like that.
November 6th. Yeah.
November 6th. After the fight, man, we'll link up again and we'll have some more conversations, man.
Joe, you're welcome on the platform anytime, bro. You was a wonderful guest. I think Ray wanted to say something to you real quick before you fly it off.
Oh, go ahead, Ray. Go ahead, brother.
No, it was wonderful having you on. Hopefully you're able to stop by more often, man. We appreciate that.
No, man, anytime, man. You know what I mean? I know we run a little bit late now. My phone's about to die. That's why I'm trying to let you go now. But no, we'll definitely do it again, man. It's all up.
All right, man. Stay up, man. Stay up, family.
Here, guys. All right.
Cool.
Peace.